During Lion King, we are talking about life cycle assessment. That's right, the circle of life. To you in this episode for your GCSE Chemistry exam preparation. Let's dive into it. What are life cycle assessments? Well, they assess every stage of a product's lifetime in order to evaluate the total environmental costs. And there are 4 stages to be considered. Step 1, acquiring raw materials. 2, manufacturing and packaging. 3, product use. 4, product disposal. So those 4 stages again are acquiring raw materials, manufacturing and packaging, product use, and product disposal. And so that it assesses every stage of a product's lifetime in order to evaluate the total environmental costs. Now, why do we bother doing these little things? Well, they allow us to compare the environmental impacts of different products. For example, we can compare the environmental impacts of plastic and paper bags. So let's start with cold, hard plastic. On the surface, plastic bags seem to have a more significant impact on the environment due to the pollution they cause. But by examining what actually happens at each stage of the product's lifetime, LCAs have shown that paper bags may be more harmful. What was an LCA? That's a life cycle assessment. This is because their manufacture requires more energy and their lifespan is shorter. That's a bit of a plot twist, isn't it? When compared with plastic bags, paper bags require more energy to make and have a shorter lifespan. So looking at the life cycle assessment of a product can tell us whether it's going to be good or bad, or what the impacts are going to be on the environment. So stages of a product's lifetime, do you remember those? It's acquiring raw materials, manufacturing and packaging, product use, and product disposal. Now, there are some difficulties associated with life cycle assessments. Some aspects like energy use and raw materials can be easily quantified. Others can be a bit more difficult to estimate. LCAs can also be manipulated by not including all of a product's environmental impacts, the shade of it all. So there are a few subjective elements we need to talk about. Most LCAs have subjective, which means based on personal opinion, parts to them. This means that they can be a little bit biased. So, for example, quantifying or deciding the size of the environmental impacts of pollutants involves personal judgment. There can also be some missing details. Selective LCAs only use or quantify some of the product's environmental impacts. These can be exploited by biased companies to create positive advertising. Ugh. So that was a lot to deal with. Let's just process that with a nice little question. What do we call life cycle assessments that don't detail all the environmental impacts of a product? That's a selective LCA. A selective LCA. So much shade, so much shade. So much shade, I don't actually think I can carry on anymore, which is handy because we're at the end of this episode. I hope it was a useful revision podcast or episode for you, and make sure you check out the other episodes in this series. I will catch you in the next one. Keep up all your hard work and your revision and being proactive. It's all really great stuff.